Hi, my name is Norman Meier, and welcome to the program Mental Loss of Money, the Psychology of Financial Success. Napoleon Hill said, "Think and grow rich." Now, how can I write about this topic? How can I talk about it, and what qualifies me? When I was in my 20s, I was hungry for money and success, like so many others. I was doing well in my career, but I did not have the financial success like being a millionaire. And one day, I came across a book from Bodo Schaefer, The Journey to Financial Independence, Your First Million in 7 Years. I loved that book, and I even went to a seminar. But besides starting to read about financial independence from him, I started to make plans, write in my journal every day, listen to motivational audio programs, and read several other books. And after dealing with the topic of money and making the decision to become a millionaire, it took me 2.5 years to make it happen. But I did not just make 1 million, I made over 100 million. I had 1.3 million in cash, and the rest was in stocks of my companies. But I also made over $100,000 every month. And I thought I had it all figured out. I was on top of the world, and I believed that money would always be there for me. But then I started to self-sabotage my success and myself. And eventually, I lost everything again. And just a few years later, I was broker than broke. And how was it possible that I could let this happen? How could I go from millions to zero in a matter of years? What on earth went wrong? And then I realized success or failure is all in your head. My fast rise to success and my fall from grace thereafter taught me valuable lessons about myself. Today, I'm back on top, and now I know the reasons why everything happened the way it did. In the end, it's all in your head. It is a mental game. Success or failure is all in your head. You are exactly where you want to be in life. I had a friend say to me, "You're exactly in life where you want to be." And I thought, I was most certainly not. "But you are," he said, "because you took every step to get exactly where you are right now." And once I wrapped my idea around this idea, it became one of the most important phrases of my life. We are all exactly where we want to be. Take some time and think about it, really. There's so much more truth and wisdom in this statement than you first realize. If your life sucks, it is your fault, no one else's fault. You have allowed and accepted every circumstance in your life. If you want something more, you need to do whatever it takes to change it. If you want more money, go get some. It's as simple as that. You make that decision. I could defend myself on that point all day long. But the more annoyed and defensive I became, the more I realized one thing. On some level, I was accepting my current life as the life that I felt I deserved. I may not have gotten what I wanted so far, but now I can change that immediately. Once I realized that I was the only person who was holding myself back, and it was not the fault of someone else or my circumstances, I actually got to change my situation, improve my life. I may not have held the reins up to this point, but I certainly can do from this point forward. No one will do it for you. No one is coming one day and will give you a check for $1 million just like that. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. This life is 100% your responsibility. And it's not easy to change your mindset from victim of circumstance to incomplete control. And it's not something that happens overnight. But all it takes is one tiny seed to begin that transformation. The first step is awareness. Not that anybody's looking, but in the end, you need to impress the one person that matters the most, yourself. You deserve everything that you want, so go get it. We are exactly where we want to be. After you stop defending yourself, you are forcing yourself to really think about yourself and your life. How have you gotten to this point, and why are you not further along like you originally intended? You don't have to change your life overnight, and besides, you can't. But what you have to do is get a clear vision of your dream and then figure out what it would take to turn that dream into a reality. And from there, you must take action on it every single day, no matter how small the action is. Nobody wants to wait 2 years for something that they want today. That's normal. But if you don't start taking action on something today, you will still be in the same position 2 years from now. So I suggest that you put your goals down on paper and you map out the steps that it will take to turn your dream into reality. Can you do it in this year? Can you do it by 2020? Figure out and then take action towards every single day. This is how you change your life. Just because you aren't where you think you should be in life doesn't mean that you're not exactly where you're meant to be. Sometimes we can get caught up with the idea that we need to achieve certain things by a certain time of our lives, and then if we don't get it, we feel like a failure or beat ourselves up for not being where we thought we should be. Perhaps, let me give you some examples. Maybe you wanted to be a millionaire by the age you were 30. Or maybe you wanted to be a New York Times best-selling author and selling millions of books. Or maybe you wanted to be discovered by Hollywood and even won an Oscar. Or maybe you wanted to marry your soulmate and have 3 kids by the age of 35. Or maybe you wanted to have your own dream house. But maybe you don't have any of that. So stop beating yourself up for not being further along. Everything happened for a reason, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Judging yourself for not being where you should be won't get you anywhere. It's not going to help. So judging yourself just keeps you stuck further where you are now. It doesn't help. Only moving forward helps. If you don't like where you are today, you have the power to change it. Just because you made some bad decisions doesn't mean that you have to continue this way. You can remake your life at any moment if you choose to do so. And now that time has come. Let's talk about false beliefs about money. Many people have false beliefs when it comes to money, and because of that, they will never attract money into their lives. Your beliefs about money determine how much you have today. Whatever your limiting beliefs about money are, is how much money you will attract into your life. And we all have certain beliefs when it comes to money. And unfortunately, a lot of those beliefs are false beliefs, and they're holding you back from having a lot of money. But remember, money in itself is neutral. You give money a meaning. You make it good or you make it bad. Let me give you some examples. Do you say things like, money doesn't grow on trees? Or, I must work really hard to make a lot of money? Or, I will never be able to afford that? Or, you can only make money if you have a degree? Or, I don't deserve to make money? Or, I have bad karma because I'm an unlucky person? Or do you say stuff like, money is the root of all evil? Or, people with money are all crooks and criminals? Or do you say stuff like, money doesn't buy happiness and I'd rather be happy? Or, money is not that important? Or, I'm just not so good with money? Or, it's selfish to want to have a lot of money? So remember, money in itself is neutral. It is the beliefs about money that are the real problem. You will never become a millionaire if you have limiting beliefs about money. If you feel like you don't deserve to be rich, or you think that money is bad, then you cannot, by the universal law of attraction, attract money into your life. You might make some money, but then lose it again or sabotage yourself, but you will not be able to keep it. So ask yourself, which false beliefs about money do you still have today? You need to realize that those false and limiting beliefs are all BS. Let me give you some false beliefs about money. Money finances war and kills innocent children. Or people with money cheated their way to riches. Or people only care about money, but there are more important things like love, for example. And this is why I refuse to have money. Okay, so there's some really powerful false beliefs about money. But there is also money beliefs that can be positive. Like, for example, money builds hospitals for sick children. Or money can feed the poor and the homeless. Or money can find a cure for cancer and other illnesses. Or money can provide a happy and secure life for your family. You see, money can make you very happy, and it is of course not the only thing in life that is important, but money can do a lot of good things in this world. It can help people. It can finance cures for illnesses and can give people education. It can reduce stress. It can save lives. If you can make money and you can be happy at the same time, it means that you have freedom. And it's good or it's bad based on how you look at it. You see, you need to let go of the negative views because those views are holding you back. Remember what your parents used to say when you were growing up. Often, we simply accepted those statements as truth and we still carry them with it. So, the question is, do you deserve it? Do you feel like you deserve money? Are you self-sabotaging yourself sometimes because on some level you don't believe that you really deserve it? And that is why you punish yourself unconsciously. Are you getting ahead financially and you do something stupid by spending too much money and self-sabotage you again? What might be the reason? What is your mental mindset when it comes to making money? Do you feel like you're not deserving of love because you don't love and accept yourself? Do you feel like you need the recognition and approval of others to have money? Do you feel like you don't deserve love in your life because you have been bad in the past and you made mistakes or you've sinned? Do you feel like you have low self-esteem because of lack of love? So many of our problems come from our childhood and from our parents, and typically a lack of love or attention is the main reason. We all want to be accepted and loved, and we will do the craziest things to go get it. But you are an adult now, and you need to break out of that cycle. You need to forgive your parents and all the people in your past, and especially yourself. You deserve everything. You deserve love, you deserve money, a nice house, things, just like anyone else. You deserve the $10 million house just like the person who has it today. You don't need to drive a crappy car just because you feel you're not good enough or deserving enough to drive a nice car. You need to stop punishing yourself and self-sabotaging yourself because you are worthy and you deserve everything. 99% of all problems have to do with lack of love and feeling of deservingness. Love yourself, stop blaming others, and stop playing the victim. You can give away your own power to others and to circumstances if you keep playing the victim role. You think that the victim role will give you some sort of love or at least some attention, but really it is pity. You are in life exactly where you want to be. You have exactly what you think you deserve and not one bit more. Being honest with yourself and others is the starting point to feeling good about yourself. Do good for others and it will make you feel better about yourself. If you get a windfall of money, it will amplify what is already inside of you today. If you're an asshole, you will become a bigger asshole. If you feel like you need to cover up some pain by shopping, drinking, drugs, gambling, and so forth, then you will do that even more so on a bigger scale. Find out what problems or pain that you're still trying to avoid or to hide. And we all want to avoid pain. It is one of our two main motivations in life. Avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. But how is avoiding the pain hindering you from financial greatness? Ask yourself honestly. Let's look at the millionaire mindset. Childhood influences shape our financial blueprint, and these influences can lead to self-defeating thoughts and habits. If you're not doing well as you think you'd like to do, this means that there's something that you don't know, and all rich people think in very similar ways. It is not an exact science, but most people think very similar, and most people think completely different when it comes to money. All you have to do, basically, is to start thinking the same way that rich people do, and you will get the same results. Psychology of money and success is the basis for financial success, and it all starts in your head before you can change your outer circumstances. Ask yourself the following question. How were my own thoughts holding me back from wealth? You need to recondition your mind. You need to play to win and not get constantly sidetracked. Don't even consider quitting until you are a millionaire. Do not entertain certain thoughts if they don't empower you towards your personal vision. Combine the inner game of money, which is your mindset, with the outer game, which are tools and strategies. Then your results will change dramatically. But you don't have to learn but you mainly have to unlearn some of the old ways of thinking that have gotten you exactly where you are right now. Outer laws of money are things like business knowledge, money management, investment strategies, and so forth. And these are essential for financial success. But the inner mental attitude is much more important, and it comes first. So it's not enough to be in the right place at the right time. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time. Now, do you feel like you truly deserve wealth? Have you heard of people who have blown up financially? Like myself, for example. Have you noticed how some people have a lot of money and then lose it again? Or people have excellent opportunities, start well, but then something happens and the deal goes south, or something else goes bad. And from the outside, it looks like they have bad luck or downturn in the economy or a partner that cheated them and so forth. But the real reason is that they had the wrong financial mental attitude. Their internal money belief system was wrong. And that's why if you come into big money and you're not ready for it on the inside, chances are your wealth will be short-lived and you will lose it again. Just like lotto millionaires, for example. You need to develop the internal capacity to deal with large amounts of money. You need to be able to deal with bigger challenges that come with more money and more success. If you can't handle it, then it is the primary reason why you don't have money in your life. Do you realize that Donald Trump could never just be a millionaire? If Donald Trump had only a net worth of $1 million, do you think he would feel good and successful about himself? He would probably feel like a financial failure. This is because his financial chip setting in his brain are set for billions and not millions. And as you know, Donald Trump made about $10 billion in his career. So most people are unconscious about their own financial mental mindset. A tree grows big because of its roots. When it comes to nature, we can learn again from the law of growth. A tree can only create large fruits, which means, money, equivalent to money, if the roots, which is the foundation, are big and strong. And if you want to change the fruits so that they will get bigger, you first must change the roots. So if you want to change the visible, you first must change the invisible. What is deep in the ground is invisible, but it will create what is visible on top. If you want to change your life, you must change your thinking. Let me give you an example. The example is about printing out a letter. Let's say that you just have written a letter on your computer. You hit the print key and the letter comes out of your printer. You look at the hard copy and all of a sudden you find a typo. You decide to take your good eraser and erase the typo on the paper. Then you hit print again and out comes the same letter just as before with the same typo. And at this point you're wondering, how could this be? Because you just erased the typo earlier. But this time you're committed. You take an even bigger eraser and you rub even harder on the paper and you get rid of the typo. But then, just to be sure, you study a 300-page manual called Effective Erasing. Now you have all the tools and knowledge that you will need and you think you're ready. Now you hit print again and the same letter comes out as before. And you start to scream and cry and you can't believe what just happened. So how is this possible? Haven't you done everything that you could? You start to feel like you're in the twilight zone. But the real problem cannot be solved in the physical world or in the printout. It can only be changed in the program, in the mental world. You can only change it in your computer, in your mind. So we live in a world of cause and effect. Money is simply a result. Health is a result. Weight or illness is a result. And this is why lack of money is never ever the problem. A lack of money is only a symptom of what is going on inside of your head. Lack of money is the effect, but the root of the problem is your mental mindset. The only way you can change your outer world is to first change your inner world. If things aren't going well on your outer life, it's because things are not going well in your inner life. It's that simple. Every child comes into this world and it has no idea about money. It has no attitude or no opinion. Every child is taught how to deal with money and how to think about it. And the same is true for you and for me. And these false teachings are the reason why you have no money. It's a false conditioning. But this false conditioning is set on autopilot and runs for the rest of your life. And this is why you need to become aware of what is holding you back, what your own self-limiting beliefs about money are. And you need to unlearn these false ideas and replace them with the kind of thinking that rich people have, so you can also become rich. You first need to change your programming before you can get the results in the outer world and in your bank account. Some people link up having money with being greedy or being a bad person. And because you don't want to be a bad person, you cannot attract and keep money. It goes against your very core. But money itself is neutral. It can do good things, but it can also do bad things. But it's up to what kind of belief you have towards it that decides whether it's good or bad. The first step is to change this cycle of awareness. You can't change something unless you know that it exists in the first place. The second step is to understand how and why your false beliefs were holding you back in the past. What was the reason? The third step is to disassociate yourself from your false beliefs and then recondition yourself with better beliefs that will help you. They say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Most of your issues come from your parents and your childhood. As kids, we tend to model the behavior of our parents. You can have all the knowledge and skills in the world, but if your financial mindset or blueprint is not set for financial success, you will always struggle financially. In other words, you will always be doomed. If your motivation for having money comes from things like fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, money will never bring you happiness. Seeking security comes from insecurity, which is based in fear. Money is not the root of the problem. Fear is the problem. But what's worse is that fear is not just a problem, it's a habit. Therefore, some people will make more money and become more and more afraid. Okay? They say, if I make too much money, I will be punished in high taxes. But then they do something to self-sabotage themselves so that they don't have to pay so many taxes. Sounds silly? But it's very true for many people. Some people have a major inferiority complex and they think that making a lot of money will make them good enough. But let me tell you this, no amount of money will ever make you a better person or make you good enough. If you have the need to constantly prove yourself, it will become a driving force in your life and you will be your own slave of your own expectations and you will never be happy. If you feel that money can erase some pain from the past to prove that you're good enough, then you're also fooling yourself. No amount of money will ever make you feel good enough if you don't feel like you're good with money today. Let's go through some examples of mental mindsets of rich people versus poor people. And remember, change your thinking and it will change your life. So what do rich people say? Rich people say things like, I create my life. But what do poor people say? They say, life happens to me, or I'm a victim of my circumstances or other people, or I blame this person, and so forth. Rich people say, I'm responsible. Poor people justify or complain. Rich people say, I play money, the money game to win. Poor people say, I try not to lose money. Rich people say, I'm 100% committed to becoming rich. Poor people say, oh, I'd love to be rich. Rich people say, I know exactly what I want. And poor people say, I don't know what I want. So rich people think in big dimensions, numbers. They deliver value to the marketplace. They focus on opportunities. They admire other successful people. They associate with positive and other successful people. They try to copy or model rich people. They say, if they can do it, I can do it. They're willing to sell and promote themselves. They become leaders in their field. They have a passion and enthusiasm. And they are bigger than their problems. They don't avoid problems and try to get rid of them. They try to solve problems so they can face any other problem or situation in the future. They're ready to face any problem. They believe that they're worth to be rich and they deserve wealth. And they want to give and provide value for others. And they focus on doing things excellent with high quality. And they choose to get paid on results. And they think they can do several projects. And they think about increasing their net worth. And they make it a focus and a priority. And they actively manage their money. So you see, that's what rich people think. Now, poor people, They always expect something from others. They focus on problems and obstacles. They have envy, resentment, and they don't like other successful people. They associate with negative, unsuccessful people. They criticize rich people, and they're jealous of them. And they don't believe things are possible. They believe that selling is negative, and they're followers or sheep, and they're negative and numb to new things. And big problems overwhelm them. And they avoid problems to try to get rid of them. And sometimes when the problems get too big, they don't really believe that they deserve money and wealth. And they expect a paycheck for time spent at a job. And they only deliver the minimum or what is expected. So you need to change your thinking. The important thing is that you ask yourself the right questions. And I have 5 questions that I want to ask you. Number 1, which false beliefs have you held in the past and they have held you back from a life of wealth? Number 2, what were the things or phrases that your parents used to say in front of you? Number 3, which false beliefs are you still struggling with today and why? Number 4, what could you do differently or how could you change some of those false beliefs? Number 5, which new empowering beliefs will you use going forward in your life? Let's talk about money and happiness. And it's not either money or happiness. You can have money and be happy at the same time. It's not an either or question. So you can have money and you can be happy, or you can have money and you can be unhappy. The two things are not related. Money can make you very happy, but it makes other people unhappy. Happiness is a decision. It's a mental state of mind that is not bound to people or circumstances. Once you realize what happiness really is and how it works, then you can be happy just like that for no particular reason. And you should be. Being happy and being positive will help you, empower you much more in life than being negative will ever do. I think that in general, money can do a lot of things to you, and it can add to your already existing happiness. I would rather have money than have not money, but my happiness is not dependent on it. Realize that. The truth about money and the law of nature are very much connected. Have you read all the books about success? Have you attended seminars or listened to all the successful gurus? And despite all the info, you're still not further in life financially? This is exactly what happened to me in the past. I became a success knowledge junkie. In 10 years, I read over 500 books, listened to over 100 audio programs, attended countless seminars, and I read so much about success that I could easily get a degree from it. But something was missing. I was willing to learn, to plan, to set goals, to think positive, but my net worth had not improved. What was it that the success gurus were not telling me? I dreamt of millions, but I had to worry how to pay the rent the next month. So I totally disillusioned myself. And then I realized something. Reading another book or attending another seminar would not make any more difference. I basically knew pretty much everything there is to know. So I decided to do something different. And here's the law of nature. You cannot go against the law of nature. Interestingly, I was not alone in this situation. Thousands of people just like me were addicted to success knowledge, spent thousands of dollars on materials, but they did not earn 1 more cent. I was living in a dream world and I was hoping to find an idea that would make me a millionaire overnight. But I forgot one very important thing, and that is the law of growth. We live in a world governed by law, the laws of nature. They're also called the natural laws or universal laws. The laws of nature also apply to business and financial success. The law of cause and effect says that there must first be a cause or an action before you will have an effect or a result. So you can only earn money if you plant the seeds. You can only become successful if you do something else first. When it comes to money, the law of growth is a key factor. If you want to have $1 million, you first must have $1, then $2, then $100, then $1,000, and so on. The law of growth is the law of the universe, and you cannot avoid it. You have to go step by step. Ask yourself, how can someone earn $1 million without having made $100,000 before? How can someone earn $100,000 without having made $10,000 before? And how can somebody earn $10,000 without having made $1,000 before? You still need to work in accordance with the law of growth in order to grow your own net worth. Success is a series of little steps and a growing process. It is quite simple, actually. Do you want to lose 50 pounds? Then start with losing the first pound. Do you want to marry the woman or the man of your dreams? Then go on the first date. Do you want to earn a degree? Then finish the first lesson. You need to prove first that you can handle a smaller amount of money before the universe will give you millions to manage. It's also important how money feels in your hands. $2,000 cash in your wallet feels much better than $2,000 in your bank account. Think about that. Believe it or not, but most millionaires always carry a lot of cash in their wallet, typically a few $1,000s. Now, why is that? Why would you carry so much cash with you? Having a lot of cash in your wallet also influences your subconscious mind in a positive way. If you have a feeling that you always have a lot of money available to you right now, you will attract more money. Most millionaires often look at money and they play with it. It makes them feel good. I do have a lot of rich friends and most of them carry a lot of cash. It's no myth. If you previously had false and limiting beliefs about money, this is one way to change it. Now, what could you say that goes against carrying this amount of cash in your wallet? And some people will immediately say, like, are you crazy? That's just not smart because you could lose it, or someone could steal it, or you could spend too much. But this is exactly small-minded thinking. This is exactly why you don't have money in your life. If your life is ruined because you're afraid to lose $2,000, then you won't attract more money into your life anyway. If you're afraid that someone could steal it, it's the same. And of course, don't spend it. The reason why $2,000 cash in your wallet will help is to program your mind to become more comfortable with money. And on another positive note, in case of an emergency, you always have enough money with you. So the feeling always having enough money will give you power. It will give you a feeling that you are already rich. And if you want to become king, you already have to act like a king today. So you have to act as if, and soon things will be accordingly. If you want to be rich, you should start acting like a millionaire today and start copying their habits. So go to the bank and get that cash now. Let's talk about playing the lottery and the effect it has on your subconscious mind. And I have some news for you. You are not going to win the lottery ever. It's not going to happen. Sorry. I remember the time I used to play the lottery a lot. And I used to say to myself, well, someone has to win. Why not me? Playing the lottery is one of the most dangerous things that you can do to yourself when it comes to money and your mindset. Statistically looked at, there's a chance of 54 million to 1 that you're going to win. If you play the lottery twice a week for 100 years, and you will have played 11,000 times, and if you play for $1 or $2, you've invested a lot of money. However, the money is not the problem, okay? It goes much deeper. The problem with playing the lottery is that the money that you've spent, doesn't matter, but the effect it has on your subconscious mind. If you play the lottery, you basically tell your subconscious mind that you're not capable of making millions yourself with your own abilities. You surrender to chance and luck. And by doing it on a constant basis, just like a habit, you program your own mind that you are the victim of luck and circumstances. You program yourself over and over again that you will never have the capacity to make it happen on your own and with your own abilities. And in your lifetime, over 11,000 times. So I urge you to stop playing the lottery right now, because you're never going to win. Use your head and create millions with your own talents and your own creativity. Believe in yourself from now on. Give a sign to the universe by quitting. It's almost the same like stop drinking or taking drugs for good. Your life will improve. Quit playing the lottery and new opportunities will come your way. Let's talk about the universe. Sending a sign to the universe by giving away money. Give and donate money. You send a sign to the universe that money will always come your way in abundance. There is no need for a scarcity mindset. Another important psychological thing is to give away money or to donate money. Whenever you go through a drive-thru, for example, at McDonald's, or you buy groceries at the store, there's often a box for change to donate for a good cause. And I want to encourage you to always put your change in that box or to tip well at the restaurant. What does that have to do with becoming a millionaire? Well, if you believe in karma, it means that if you do good in the world, you will get something good back, even if no one sees it or knows about it. But on the other hand, and more important, is that if you give away money and you don't hold on to it too tightly because you're cheap, then you send a message to the universe. This message is that you have more than enough money, and money is available to you in abundance so that you can give it away, and it doesn't matter to you if you give it away because you know it's coming back. It also sends a message to your subconscious mind that even if you give away some money, that you will attract new money into your life again. You don't worry about making more money in the future because you believe in your abilities and you trust the universe that new other money-making opportunities will come your way. You see, if you're small-minded or cheap and your belief system about money is also cheap or small-minded, then you hold yourself back. If you worry that you will not have enough money, you will be right. But if you worry that giving away money will have you less, then so you attract less. So be aware of your thoughts and your beliefs about money. Also, if you think about saving alone, not spending is the only way, then you limit yourself to very small kind of thinking. All millionaires donate money for good causes. And they didn't start with donating money once they had millions. They did it all along, even when they had no money. So start today. You need to trust me on this, even if you're unsure. Start with what you can do. Typically, you should give away about 10% of your money to good cause. You will be surprised what good things life is waiting for you if you donate money. The next step, become mentally powerful. So become the person who can make $1 million. Your life only gets better if you get better. You can be wildly successful if you improve yourself. Do you need really $1 million in your bank account to have a good life? Or do you really need to make $100,000 per month and to have your expenses covered and to be happy? Of course you don't. Then why bother? It's not the money itself that is the key, but the person that you have to become that can attract that kind of money into your life. So what kind of person does it require? What will you have to do in order to make that kind of money? And remember, every master was once a disaster. So what kind of personality traits or habits do you have to develop? Do you have to change your thinking? Can you be successful with a regular job or having a ceiling on your income? Or do you need to think outside of the box? Do you need to use a new strategy with more leverage to make that kind of money? So the goal is to become the person who's capable of making that kind of money. You need to become a mentally stronger person. You need to change your thinking and your strategies, and it all starts in your head. The power of clarity. Dreaming is powerful and important because everything starts with dreaming, and your financial success is going to manifest that way. But in order to get ahead, you need to develop your dream, and you can only move forward if you have the 3 C's, which is crystal clear clarity. Motivation is not enough. You need clarity. Goal setting is sometimes boring for people, and they think they already know everything about it, and they heard it a million times. But those people are still in the same position as they were years ago, and nothing has changed. So people are lazy, and they don't really take the time to analyze what they really want. They say, oh, they want it, but they don't really believe that they want it. They still believe that somehow one day something will happen and they will get it by chance or by luck. But this is not how success works. You need to get absolute clarity to the very last detail to what you want to accomplish. Then you need to look at the individual steps involved, the price you have to pay for it, and decide if you want to get it. You say you want it, but you don't really believe it. But once you get clear that you really want it, the motivation will show up. For a while, I got really confused about this fact. I first became a self-made millionaire. I knew clarity was important, and it was responsible for my success. And then I started to listen to Kevin Trudeau, the infomercial king and author of Cures They Don't Want You to Know About, or Wish Is Your Command. And Kevin made millions, but he ended up in prison. And he has positive messages, and he wants to encourage people, which is a good thing. And through a personal connection from a friend, I actually was in email contact with him. But the problem with his message is that it confuses people. It gets them happy and motivated, but their lives don't really change. His message is basically this: dream, imagine, but don't worry about the details. Let the universe take care of the details. That's how you get rich and how you reach your goals. Dreaming and trying to leave all the details to the universe is one strategy, and I've tried it, but honestly, it didn't really get me anywhere. It was time to get back to what I knew to be true and what works. And getting crystal clear energy is the answer. And guess what? Once I had crystal clear clarity, things started to take off again. So I believe in the power and the magic of the universe. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about the universe, if you know my books and you know me. But it's the starting point for manifestation. The second phase is goal setting and clarity. You also need to have a realistic view of the situation. No matter what the situation is, never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. My friend and mentor David Garcia is a master in this. He can access any situation and really see the reality of it. He never uses wishful thinking, and he never disillusions himself about the facts and the truth. He's not negative at all. He's the most realistic person that I know. But his ability alone to be realistic has made him a multi-millionaire many times over. And I often fight with him about those things because I don't want to be a negative person. But sometimes I'm overly optimistic about the truth, and I can only progress and move forward if I take off my pink sunglasses and see things for how they really are. Truth and honesty hurts, but you're not getting anywhere without the truth. You need to be brutally honest and open with yourself to make an honest analysis of your financial situation. You can only improve your financial situation if you lay it all out on the table and be completely honest. You can only improve any situation if you only know or really know the truth and the facts. Otherwise, you live in a la-la land and you are disillusioning yourself from reality. Once you accept this, you will make progress. Otherwise, it is not possible or simple a matter of luck or chance. And the same is true for anything else in life, like relationships or health and so forth. And the truth can taste bitter sometimes, yet it is better to live with reality than to stumble through a world of illusions. You don't want to go through life living in a world of illusions, and then one day when you're older, you wake up and realize you're still a loser in your own sense. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. But it's not going to help you in the long run. You cannot hide from the truth, and you only will be happy if you face the truth and do something to change or improve your situation. Let me give you a little story. It's called the Penguin Principle. And it really starts like this. You will only excel and be successful if you do something that is in your element. So I saw this little speech from Dr. Eckhart von Hirschhausen from Germany. And he's a doctor, and he became a TV legend and motivational speaker. And when Dr. Hirschhausen was young, he got a job on a cruise ship. And he was all excited about it, but after a couple of days of being seasick, he wished he never gotten on board. Then the cruise ship stopped in Norway, where he went to visit a zoo. And in that zoo, he was watching penguins, how they were waddling slowly on land. And he was thinking to himself, what a false construction of God. The penguin was unable to walk properly, had no knees, no wings to fly, and he thought, what an unlucky position to be in. So he pitied the penguin. But then the penguin jumped into the water, and all of a sudden he could see what the penguin was really all about. He was moving and twirling 10 times faster than a car. And at this point he realized two things. First, he was judging too quickly, and second, once the penguin was in the right element, which is the water, he would be even better and faster than anyone else. So if you focus on your weaknesses, you will never be successful. The penguin is at his best when he's in his water or his element. 7 years of psychotherapy won't turn the penguin into a giraffe, and no matter how hard he tries, okay? So the right environment is crucial. If you use your strength instead of your weaknesses, you will be much better off. If you put the penguin in the middle of the desert, he will be useless. But if he's in the water, he's in his element. If the penguin is in the desert, he will never perform at his best. But if you put him into water, he will excel. The same is true for you. Don't try to be someone that you are not. You should only focus on your strengths. You will only be more successful if you do that. Step one is to find out who you are and what your strengths are. Then develop a business idea based on your strengths. Get help like an assistant or a contractor for areas of your weakness. You don't have to be good at everything. No one is, and you don't have to be either. But be the best or in the top 10% of your areas in your field. Dr. Hirschhausen is a medical doctor, but he decided to quit his medical career because his strength is really improvisation, and because he's being a little bit chaotic at times, and that's not really good for the medical field. But he realized that he was not in his right element as a doctor, and he would perform much better on stage or on TV, and those were his real strengths. So he's great at giving speeches and presentations, and that's where he is in his element, and that's where he excelled in his career. So his advice to you would be this: don't hesitate and stay stuck like a penguin in the desert. Move forward until you find the water, your element, and then jump and swim. You will know when you are in your element, when things flow easily and you are great at what you do. An accountant, for example, has typically a more introverted personality. He's typically not going to be successful in a sales job. But a salesperson who is, let's say, more extroverted will be bored to death if he has to deal with numbers all day. You can only do well if you're doing something that is in alignment with your personality structure. You can only do well if you have strengths and talents and you focus on those. Don't ever try to focus on your weaknesses and think that you will do well in those areas. If you do that, life will always be hard. Providing a real value for others. Now, look at this. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you're sloppy and unorganized in other things, you will never be successful in business either. You need to develop good habits and the quality in order to attract better things in your life. To get paid the best, you must become the best. So people who are in the military, for example, they develop habits like self-discipline, structure, organization, and these traits or qualities help them to do well in whatever else they do. But because their environment is also reinforcing high standards, they do better in whatever they do. If your peer group is doing well, then you automatically try to match the behavior of your peer group too. So surround yourself with better people and strive for excellence and high quality in everything that you do. This will attract better things into your life and will help you make money. Let's talk about laziness and money. Don't save your energy for the future, ever. Give everything right now and don't hold back. When my grandmother was on her deathbed, she told me a few important things about life. One of the things that she said is that I should never be lazy. She said my father was the best during his time at the university because he was always active and he was never ever lazy. Being active and being self-disciplined can go a long way. Whatever you do for work in life, do it well and give everything. Don't save your energy for anything. You should develop the habit of always giving your best in any given situation. Be helpful, do what you can, and do it well. The activity that you're doing right now is all there is right now. There's nothing else. And many people underestimate this kind of habit or quality. They feel like they have to give the minimum or only a tiny effort, and it's not as necessary to give more. But you never know what doors can open if you give more than is expected of you. Some people go to the top of their companies because as a regular employee, they thought ahead, were the first and the last in the office, gave more value than was expected of them, and eventually they caught the attention of their superiors and got promoted faster than others. I have found that luck is quite predictable. If you want more luck, you have to take more chances, be more active, and show up more often. And the same is true for creating sales. Don't stay in your comfort zone and do the minimum. The best and most successful salespeople are not necessarily better or more skilled than other salespeople. They simply don't hold back and give everything. This one quality alone can make you a millionaire. Make money a focus and priority. If you don't make money your number one priority, you will never have it. Your energy will go where your focus is. You need to make money a major focus in your life. You can't take the topic lightly because the one thing in regards to money that is easy is to lose it. And without money, your life is hard and more difficult. There are very few things in modern life that are doable and possible without money. If you have money in our society and time, you will have a better life. You can fight it or you can be against it, but it won't help. Unless you move to the woods and eat worms and berries all day, you will never be happy. Also remember that your past is different than your future, and it's a different chapter of your life. At the age of 57, Louis Hay was still bouncing checks. Colonel Sanders was living out of his car, and Stephen Covey never even published a book. So remember, it's going to be okay. The best days of your life haven't happened yet. When you hit rock bottom before and you survived, then there are very few things in life that can scare you. Be grateful for the experience because it made you so much stronger. Everything happens for a reason, and in order for you to master the future, you need to get stronger first. God's plan was to toughen you up before you go into battle. And we all wish we erased some dark times in our lives, but all of our life's experiences, good and bad, made you who you are today. The universe is not punishing you or blessing you. The universe is responsible to the vibrational attitude that you are emitting. So from now on, you must change your frequency. You must change the vibrations through thoughts and signals that you send out. So if you positively change your thoughts, positive things will happen. You need to shift, okay? A shift needs to happen. Sometimes that also means that things will first get worse before they get better. But in order for new and good things to come into your life, and old and bad things need to go away first. They need to be replaced. You need to clean up things that were holding you back. Sometimes it means that you will lose your job, lose people and relationships, or other things that provided you with something right now, but you will only move forward into better and faster situations if you can clean up your life. You need space for better things, and you need better people in your life. There will be a shift, and doesn't always seem like a good thing at first. But if you change jobs on, let's say, because you want to make more money, maybe you make less money at first because you had to give up a certain activity, but you needed to free yourself and have time to make space for real money-making opportunities or to make millions. You need to let go of something else first to have the time and energy to focus on your new path. The limit is what you believe to be the limit. And the most common way people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any power. If you set your expectation at $5,000 per month because that's what you believe and that's what you think you deserve, then guess what? That's exactly what you will get. You will not aim for more, or certainly not much more. And in my personal situation, I limit myself to $100,000 a month. And if I make this, I'm happy and feel successful. If I make less than that, I feel like I'm not working my real potential. But who says I shouldn't focus on 500,000 or $1 million per month? The answer is me. I am the limiting belief. So there are thousands of people who make $1 million per month. Are they smarter than you? Are they better than you? No, of course not. They simply have decided to raise the bar. And you can do the same. What is your absolute must that you must have? What is the standard that you allow yourself to have? If you don't set the standard, no one will set it for you. You decide if you drive a crappy car or a great car. You decide if you go to a 5-star hotel or a rotten 2-star hotel. It's all a decision, whether you realize it or not. You give yourself the standard that you feel that you deserve, the standard where you feel comfortable with. But honestly, you don't have to be realistic at all. Some people are so unrealistic that they believe in their dreams so much that they end up surprising everyone around them and make it happen. No one should be able to tell you what you can do or what you can't do. And miracles start to happen once you give as much energy to your dreams as you do to your fears. Do you want to make $100,000 per month? Is that realistic? For some people, it's very realistic. For others, it's totally out of their reach. But if you open up your mind and start to wonder how you could do it, you start to come up with ideas and possible solutions. Let's try it right now. If you get 20 clients per month, as an example, let's say 1 client per working day, and those clients pay you $5,000 for your consulting services, whatever that is, so 20 times 5,000, then you make $100,000 a month. If you sell 200 products per month and charge $500 each, then you make $100,000 a month. If you sell a house for, let's say, $3 million and you get a commission of 3.5%, then you will make $100,000 per month. You see, it is possible. I could come up with 20 more ideas or ways. I didn't say it was easy, but it's possible. So why don't you make a list of 20 ways or possibilities or possible solutions, even if they sound crazy at first? Start brainstorming. This is how you get started. But most people don't even dare to dream that big. They don't set their goals that high. They are maybe somehow afraid that they spend too much energy or something like that. So set your goals high. And by high, I mean, let's say $100,000 per month. If you only hit, let's say, 20%, it's still $20,000, which is good. But if you set it at $10,000 a month, you will not really break through. You will not give 100%. Remember, it's all a mental challenge. You need to become the person who is capable of making $100,000 a month. Becoming great is just really a decision. If you want to become a leader in your field, you must make that choice. If you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission and just do it. Become great. I always wondered why somebody didn't do something about something, and then I realized I am somebody. You can be somebody. Dare to set your goals high and then go for it. In order to become one of the great ones, you must make the decision to become one of the great ones. It's as simple as that. Everybody else did it. You set the standard for yourself. You decide if you want to play in the big league or in the small league. Becoming a leader in your field requires you to move from a life of mediocrity to a life of greatness by doing everything in your personal power to improve yourself, your thoughts, your standards, and your thinking. Get started today. Do something every day to move forward. And remember, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So don't stop, keep going, and believe you can make it happen.